Hey there, everyone. Hi, Moms. Convention of States Michigan is here for you. This is TimeOut with COS Moms. So go grab your tea, your coffee, your lemonade, your cocktail. It's time for your timeout. Finish up my coffee here from this morning. So moms, we all know that we are in the know. We have our life hacks, we have our mom instincts, we have our special maternal intuition that allows us to have eyes in the back of our heads and ears in every room in the house to always know what's going on. And yet Convention of States moms also have another form of intuition and insight. We believe that in this kind of idea of this National Article 5 convention process, we trust this process will work and that a National Article 5 convention, bringing all of the states together, will resolve our federal government's extra constitutional misbehavior, right? Needing the eyes in the back of our head and the ears in every room in the house, right? So how can we know that this convention process is going to work, especially when our country has never actually had a national full Article 5 convention before? How do we know what to do? How do we know, what to do with the delegates? How do we know how to organize an event like this? How do we know that we are going to stay, or that the delegates will stay within their constitutional bounds in doing so when we actually have a convention? Though we pose these questions, and it's a good idea to ask these questions, and you are absolutely correct for asking these questions, the questions of the Article 5 process are actually not unknown. So there actually is historical context and legal precedent for this, for the American Interstate Convention process, for bringing multiple states together. So delegates to the convention only derive very specific authority to address three main proposals. We've mentioned those proposal ideas before on this show, and you can see them everywhere on the Convention of States website, and talk to any Convention of States person. We are talking term limits, limiting federal spending, and limiting federal jurisdiction over the states. We are not managing some sort of unknown agenda with an unknown number of variables to it. We are talking about a convention with very specific ideas, with a very specific agenda, and a very specific way that you would divide up the convention itself into kind of those three main areas. We also know that operationally a convention will work, and how a convention will work, because there have been previous interstate conventions before, by which we are modeling all of our rules and all of our procedures for a National Article 5 convention as well. So in our country's history, there's been somewhere between 40 and 45, I think 42 was the last count, of actual interstate conventions. Those conventions actually accomplished their ends. They went into their convention with that idea of a specific agenda, accomplish the ends that they set out to do, and therefore we know that we would be able to do the same. We know that type of process works, and we know how to go about achieving those ends using the means of the convention process. Finally, we know that the states have the ability to control the convention and keep it on track, because our organization, the Convention of States Project, and our national team, our national organization, has actually held two different multi-day simulations. One was in 2016, the other one was in 2023. And we actually walked out and practiced what a convention would actually look like. So we utilized the rules and the procedures that states have used in the past. We utilized all the same procedures that we saw in past interstate conventions. You can actually read through the rules and the procedures that were used at the simulated conventions. Something very similar things to what you might see, like if you were to turn on C-SPAN, right, or to go to like a local government, your local, city council, type of event, where you're having some sort of town hall, and there's a very specific orderly way in which people are talking, in which people are recognized, how long people have to talk, things like that. Those are very specific rules of order and procedure that you can actually utilize at a convention process, or through the convention process as well. So you can actually read through the rules of the simulations that we did in 2016 and 2023 as well. And the states at those simulated conventions, the states, all the states that were there had their delegates, sent their delegates. We actually walked through the convention process, and they were able to actually pass amendment proposals out of that simulation in even just a few days. They were able to come together, be able to negotiate, be able to split up into their committees, have full vote at the end of everything, and to actually be able to pass amendment proposals. So those ends were accomplished in those instances as well. So a mom's insight is a very powerful tool that helps guide family and home and your kids. The Convention of States Mom's insight extends even to the future of the convention process and preserving our Constitution. So trust that insight, moms, trust that intuition, and just know that you have the eyes in the back of your head and the ears in every room in the house to know that we need to be able to rein in our federal government, and that they need to be able to be reined in, and that this convention process is the best way to do it. So now you know, moms, make sure your kids know too. So if you have any questions, you want to learn more, if you want to get involved with our Convention of States of Michigan team, go ahead and contact me at askmi@cosaction.com. I can put that up for you right here, askmi@cosaction.com. askmi@cosaction.com. Go ahead and email me any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, and we can go ahead and get you plugged in that way as well. And we will see you back here in a couple weeks. Have a great couple weeks. Have a great 4th of July.